My name is Marcus Ivarsson, and I am the CEO of Tjing and the creative director of the project. That's pretty much it. I'm one of the founders. I founded Tjing almost 3 years ago now. Tjing's mission is to include the next generation of people in the digital economy, the kids, basically. There are very few solutions for kids in cashless countries, not least young kids, really young kids, thereby excluded from the economy up until a certain age, let's say age 10 or 12 when they normally get a card. At that age, they're introduced into a very abstract digital reality, very far from the rich worlds that they grew up with in the digital sort of day and age. The bank is normally maybe the most boring touch point of all your touch points in the mobile phone. So we're trying to change that by introducing gaming elements, graphics that are beautiful, just make the whole experience of your money way more concrete and relatable. Also introduce other types of educational concepts in this mix, basically, in a fun way. So you learn through play and you learn through fun instead of through typical sort of people tell you how things work. You can try them yourself instead in Tjing. My own kids, basically. I have 4 children myself, and I have seen how they have had trouble relating to money because it's invisible. It's been a few years, or 10 years, let's say, where money has been very cheap and it's been very easy to buy stuff before you pay and so on and so forth. And it's been the focus has not necessarily been on saving and handling your money well. It's been more sort of spending focus. And for me as a parent, it's I don't want to be worried about their future relationship to their economy and their finances. So that's where we started this. We wanted to be a creative force that could design something through the kids. So they have been the creative directors, not us. I say that I'm the creative director, but it's actually my kids. and everyone in the team has kids as well, and they are sort of shaping this experience together with us that can do the design in the tools. We just looked at the world and we saw our own kids and saw that there were no good solutions, or sufficiently good solutions according to ourselves. So we just went head over heels into this space and did something that the kids liked, and we kept our ears to the ground, so to say. And maybe we wouldn't have done this at all if we knew more about the financial industry. Maybe we would have been, But I think it's important to understand that the customer is the king, or the queen, right? The customer is the one who's going to shape, the customer behaviors is going to shape the future. So you just have to listen in to what they're doing. And if you look at the kids, they're obviously living their lives in the digital reality in a completely different way than what we did when we grew up. When you turn 18 today, you can invest in any sort of asset by the click of a button, whether it's NFTs or crypto, or you're chasing some stock, without understanding. So it's more important than ever to be financially literate, and it has a major impact on the world and many of the UN goals as well, if not to say all of them, but I think a direct impact on many of them, financial literacy. We think that we're shaping the future in a very sort of fundamental way if we make people aware of how their money is used, what an investment looks like, what it means to invest in a fund or a stock or whatever it might be, and where your money is actually working themselves into the economy and how that works. You care about your data, and security is a high important factor for us, of course. You don't share much data necessarily in Tjing, more than, of course, the financial sort of aspects of how much your children has in their weekly allowances and stuff like that. So you can send small messages to Tjing as well and say thank you, show your appreciation if you get something, or you can ask for money if you want that. But we don't have any images or any sort of personal data like that. It's not been a main concern for our customers to this date, at least. But of course, we're super careful about handling the data. Have a big respect for that. People want to be in control of their data. The difference is that we're coming at this from the kids' point of view and from a sort of gaming aspect, right? We're trying to make money genuinely fun, and we're trying to make the interaction and visual appeal of them and so on magical, because we've seen that really shapes the behavior of kids. It's clear that even adults spend more with card than with cash, for example, because we don't like to depart from something. And that's one of the functions that we have integrated into Tjing, where you actually have to give Tjing money, as we say, before you buy something. So you Tjing them to your parent. You actually have to say goodbye. You have to depart from something. So we use that sort of emotional aspect in our solution, which is not something I've seen in any other solution. So I would just say that we're a bit more interactive, playful, fun, and maybe less like a normal bank, if you think about it that way. We have wallets with monsters and with rainbow slime and stuff like that. Everything to sort of lower the entrance bar as well for children and not be afraid of finances. It's not something that should be complicated, or even at least not more complicated than it actually is. A lot of the financial concepts are hidden in a sort of fog of strange short forms, letter color combinations and stuff. But if you really unpack the whole thing, it's not rocket science. It's actually quite simple. And I think if you introduce kids to many of these concepts when they're young, I think they will build an intuition and have a sense of ownership of that knowledge. Maybe not be so reluctant to think about investments, and maybe be a bit more careful when somebody approaches you as an adult and say that they're going to multiple your money, all the frauds out there. And so I think we want to shape that intuition for how much is money worth and what are those different things you can invest in and so on. Where did I meet with Sarah? I can't recall, but it was through Sarah Hager, and we started talking, and she's using the app with her daughter, and we had a lot of fun talking, and we realized that could be good energy among these two players. We are exploring how to open up for real, so-called real money, basically, like connecting this to a bank account, because right now Tjing is an IOU solution, so the parent is the bank, basically, which is good because it's very flexible. You don't have to have any bank ID identification stuff. You don't have to go to the bank. It's very easy for a parent to set it up. But when the kid is turning 10, 11 or something like that, or even earlier, if they get a card from their bank, we are connecting it so that they can see that money through Tjing and still experience their economy in a fun and sort of tangible way. It's not connected to bank money, but it's connected to real money. I always stress that because my kids, what they have in their Tjing account is what I owe them, basically. And that's hyper real. But of course, I have the same relationship with my bank. My bank owe me whatever I have on my account, right? That's how that money is real. But it's not, they can't pay with Tjing, let's say. They have to pay through me. So they Tjing me and then I pay right now. That Tjing will be much more global than it is today. We have released Tjing in several different countries, but right now we haven't done any marketing more than in Sweden. We're at a stage now where we're trying to find our position in the financial ecosystem. We're not here to compete with banks. We're here to support kids, basically, and support parents. We hope that we can find collaborations with bank players, that we come with sort of a creative angle on things that they don't necessarily focus on, and that we can complement each other. So I hope that Tjing is both on European and maybe even bigger than that. And in 5 years' time, I would hope that we're global in some sense. Really want to become the brand for kids' money and financial education. There are a lot of countries now where cash is being phased out. In the Nordics, they have been phased out for a long time. So I think there, it's a sort of an obvious pain point for parents to give weekly allowances and stuff. You simply can't handle money with cash in Sweden. So I think those are the obvious markets. But I do believe that within the next 5 to 10 years, that transition will happen very naturally across the world, faster than one might think. Digital money is better in so many ways. It's so much smoother. But we have to experience them in a way that makes sense for us as humans as well, so we don't lose track of our finances. It's true for kids as well as adults. I mean, adults have problems understanding that they should save up for pension. They have the compound interest. All those sort of concepts are actually hidden in a mist for a lot of adults as well, which is not good because that's what the world revolves around, basically, compounding interest, for example. I think we can educate more than the kids here. Download Tjing or any other app that they find suitable and start to give them either allowances or give them all the money that they should have in their own digital wallet and let them spend it the way they want to themselves and sort of experience money as early as possible and not buy stuff to them. It's much better to give them money, I'd say, and let them buy stuff than you go buy them whatever they need. It really shapes the perception of money in a really cool way. We've seen it in our kids here. And I mean, that was true when we were kids as well. It meant a lot to be able to save up and to go to the store yourself and to feel part of the economy. So engage the kids and let them pay, let them save, talk about money. It's a lot about the value around money as well that is instilled very early in the kid's life. Keep in mind that you're teaching your kids pretty much everything else before the age of 7, like, biking, languages, mathematics, all of that stuff. It's so natural for us to push it as early as possible because the kids are like sponges, right? Then with money, we just forget about that. We think it's a part of the DNA somehow, but it isn't. And they're not exposed to money the same way that we were, and we take that for granted. I think you should take it seriously as a parent and really engage them, because at the end of the day, money is modern man's way of going about the economical energy that you need to survive, to make a good life for yourself. They could just reach out to Marcus with C at Tjing.com and we could talk. We're looking to reach as many kids and families as possible. Anyone who wants to show that they care about financial literacy and they want to give kids a fun experience, we would love to talk, basically.